For our moment of centering silence this morning, let us sit in open space with open mind and just be here. Body, breath, and mind. Today's service is using some Wendell Berry material. Poet, Kentucky farmer, spoke at UMPI years ago at a poetry conference. Wendell would be in his late 80s at this point, one of our true poet laureates and commentators on the Sabbath, the same life, political critique, and a lover of nature. I have two short poems for opening words. If there are a chosen few, then I am not one of them. If an elect, well then, I have not been elected. I am one who is knocking at the door. I am one whose foot is on the bottom rung of the ladder. But I know that heaven's bottom rung is heaven, though the ladder is standing on the earth where I work by day and sleep at night, with my head upon a hard stone. In a second poem, I know that I have life only insofar as I have love. I have no love except it come from thee. Help me, please, to carry this small candle against the wind. So this morning, we're going to light our chalice, like the Wendell Berry reading. There's a small candle in the breeze of our challenges and our joys of this summer. So, Steve, would you light our chalice for us this morning, please? Do the honors. I don't have a long mess. Did you have to use this short one?
Chain later. That might
The
help.
long candles are still in the sanctuary from last Sunday's service.
Why are you not?
And then just use the snuffer to extinguish the candle.
Why was
Thank you, Steve.
Trust me.
We light the chalice today for the new morning, for the new light and for new thoughts in how to live this day. We light this small flame. We have a hard time getting our candles to lit. We found the high speed on the overhead fan last week.
That works. Yeah, feels good.
So this candle is for the heat wave we've had this week. Marvelous though it may be, it felt like walking around a property outdoors. It was like walking in a sauna and working in a sauna. Yeah, we're gonna see how this works. I'd hate to turn the speed down.
One of those trip cameras.
of those birthday candles that you blow out and it comes back.
Yeah.
And this candle,
Uh-oh.
so the earthquake in Haiti, just over the weekend,
When?
7.2 yesterday
Those poor people.
on the western side of the island.
Those poor people.
So, we light the candle for those who died and for the recovery going on. They've had such a difficult stretch the last 10 years. Okay, let us continue to light candles.
I'm gonna light a candle. Joy Donna's coming back, but on Wednesday, so I wish her a safe journey. I'm gonna steal the light from one of the other candles. And also, I love this fan up there because for the camera, it's quiet compared to the amount of air it moves. We light a silent candle this morning for unspoken prayers, concerns, and also for COVID. This candle contains those challenges and the suffering right now. We will make one more attempt at the light. This goes along with my topic later this morning. We'll tie this in. May or may not.
Would you like to have, would you like to have this? Okay,
We'll be fine.
all right, I figured.
I'll tie it in the
We'll
top.
be fine.
You just wait. For those concerns and those names mentioned this morning, we hold them in the light of love and compassion. May all benefit in the world with well-being, sound mind, and peaceful resolution of conflict. We stand as one on this summer day. Blessed are we all, in holding and living this precious life. Amen, and blessed be. I looked for another reading this morning that would be a summer meditation, and I found number 438. It's titled Morning. And I was getting up this morning, how refreshing it was when the early morning air and temps, water and dew on the grass in the driveway. So I will read the bold if you read the italics. From the east comes the sun, bringing a new and unspoiled day.
It has already circled the earth and looked upon distant lands and faraway peoples.
It has passed over mountain ranges and the waters of the seven seas.
It has shone upon the rivers and the fields, into the windows of homes and shops and factories.
It has beheld proud cities with gleaming towers.
And also the hovels of the poor.
It has been witness to both good and evil, the works of honest men and women, and the conspiracy of knaves.
It has seen marching armies, bomb-blasted villages, and the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
Now unsullied from its tireless journey, it comes to us, a messenger of a morning.
Harbinger of a new day.
Do one more candle. Ben wanted me to light this today to let everyone know that he is now teaching ninth grade mathematics in New Orleans as a full-time sub. So they've already started school, and he put in his first week. So he's doing great. He just wanted us to know at Holton that he's thinking of us, and he's doing his part in Big Easy. Well, what I found is a minister's column that I wrote years ago for summer edition. I think it was in 2002, 2003. I'd forgotten I'd even written it until I came across it, and it was titled Gravity of Grace, which comes from a Wendell Berry quotation. So I'm going to read that minister's column. It also has a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote from his essay Gifts, which says, "Flowers are a proud assertion that a ray of beauty outvalues all of the practical utilities of the world." And after last Sunday's celebration of flowers and music, I think we know what Emerson was talking about. And here's the Wendell Berry quote. "All that passes descends, and then ascends again unseen into the light. The river coming down from sky to hills, from hills to sea, and carving as it moves to rise invisible, gathered to the light to return again. All that has come to us has come as the river comes, given in passing and flowing away." Here were Dave's comments from that summer newsletter years ago. "Sometimes it's the simple things in life that restore a sense of value. Noticing a small wildflower along a stream can act as a clearinghouse for the mind. You cannot place a price tag on an experience such as this, and you can't really go around trying to explain the impact of such a small event to people. Maybe poets can get away with it, but most of us just keep this little secret to ourselves and go on with our everyday lives. These small rays of beauty open to us the wonder that this world is and to what we are. It is a most useful awareness. Art, nature, driving to the supermarket, mowing the front lawn are all natural expressions of this way of being. Wendell Berry implies that all is grace. Everything is coming and going, and it is all the natural way of the universe. Linda and I have a new Buddha statue sitting in our herb garden. Most of the herbs in the garden are perennials, so we don't have to worry about them. They essentially take care of themselves and their seasonal instincts kick in. Right now, this was written in August, the echinacea is in full bloom, purple and yellow splashing the day color. The Buddha is just sitting there calmly, taking it all in. As the plants arrive, thrive, and decline, the Buddha stays the same. A Buddha for all seasons: sun, rain, ice, heat, and snow. The Buddha is a symbol of our timeless awareness. The soul touches eternity and is eternity as it observes and moves through the changing manifestations of our rhythmic world. Doesn't matter how much movement there is, we are not swayed too far because of grace. Gravity of grace grounds us to the moment and to our actions. As we feel energy and pull of life's cycles, we experience for ourselves the greatest experience. We are alive and we know it. So this was a photograph that appeared in that column, and it's a picture of our garden Buddha that someone had just gifted to us. And it's kind of an interesting angle, almost looks like a drone shot coming down from the top, and right in front of the Buddha is just this one single flower that it appears as if he's meditating on or just gazing at or sitting with. And it's one of Linda's echinacea. And I have photographs. This is one of the most well-photographed Buddhas, I believe, north of Boston. We have photographs of this Buddha in all seasons, sitting with dandelions that have gone to seed, sitting in a snowbank, sitting with small children sitting next to it, dogs, photographs of dogs coming up to sniff the Buddha. And, this image is, the Buddha is a symbol for just being awake, or noticing, or being aware, without being disturbed or distracted or upset about anything going on around it. Here's a quote about grace from James Parker out of the Atlantic magazine in 2020, as he was trying to describe this experience of grace, of beauty that just occurs. It's not that we deserve it, it's not that we manipulate or make it happen or control it. It's just something that is arising and is there for us to benefit from, to bathe ourselves in grace. Parker says, the good and natural alights upon us like the grace of God, weightless, unmerited, spirit altering. So I have 3 points of this this process of grace or awareness. And first step is to recognize it, to be awareness of grace, natural gravity. It's there all the time. Everything is around us. The question is, are we noticing or recognizing what is here? Who is around us? What is happening? To not miss it. Number 2, is grace is effortless. In the same way that gravity has its natural pull and effect on everything around it, and rhythmic movement and natural cycles, you don't have to force grace or this awareness. As soon as you recognize it and aware of it, it's effortless. You can see as clearly as possible with this visual and spiritual acuity. It's effortless. And the third point is opportunities are everywhere. Every place you direct your gaze is an opportunity to recognize, to notice, to be awake, to appreciate. And it truly is an effortless, natural evolution of our own soul as it begins to wake up, connect, and appreciate the beauty, the people that's around us. Even if there's a bunch of, if there's great turmoil, if the light, if the chalice is blown out by the speed of a fan on just a little too high, that's fine. We know why it happened. We can see how the candles have just turned into a wax puddle due to the air movement inside. That's okay. It'll be a way of remember that service when Dave had such a hard time keeping the chalice lit. And the sensation of the air, the same way the chalice and candles felt it, we feel it across our own body. A couple of summers ago, I walked down by the stream. I live by water. And it was August, the low point of water. And I walked by, and I could tell something looked odd. Something looked different. And I noticed nothing is moving. The river is not moving. It was so low, the current essentially had slowed down. To the front of the pool where the water is deep, usually the water flows in, and then you have a smooth pool-like pond surface, and then at the exit, the current starts up again. And it's constantly, depending on the time of year and how much rainfall we've had, the river changes its motion. But that day, I had never seen it, and it felt so odd. It was motionless. Yet then again, it's not. If you look closely enough, the water current may be subtle. It's probably strong. There's more water probably going up, straight back into the sky. If you follow water, liquid, solid, or gas, there's probably more evaporation going on straight back into clouds, sky, if a person is tracking that. Are we aware of this movement around us, the rhythms? Do we recognize it? And Emerson would say, as well as Wendell Berry, this is a state of spiritual wakefulness and awareness. Like a poet has these abilities. It's how they experience the world. An artist, or one of the wise ones who see and experience what is right here and now, on the surface and also the great depth. So our exercise for this week is to sit by a source of water sometime this week, stream, lake, ocean, pond, or even a puddle, and just sit there for 5 minutes, say 5 minutes, and observe. Relax, breathe, and notice the movement or flow of the water. Where is it going? How is it behaving? It may be barely noticeable, or it may be a thundering in the sky or on a beach. Notice the movement. Feel it if you can. And sense this connection. A natural connection to this movement, of which we are the same. 70% of our bodies is fluid, is water, liquid, constantly moving. Can you feel it? Are you aware of our own amazing bodies and the person sitting next to us? This is all an exercise in the experience and the gravity of grace that is natural, always abundant, always available, each and every day. So in closing, I'm going to read one more poem by Wendell Berry on a day that he went to the woods and did perhaps an experiment like ours today. It's titled, Look It Over. I leave behind even my walking stick. I bring no car, no cell phone, no computer, no camera, no CD player, no fax. You can tell this is a dated poem. No TV, not even a book or a notebook. I go into the woods and I sit on a log provided at no cost. It is the earth I've come to. The earth itself, sadly abused by the stupidity only humans are capable of,
Amen.
but as ever, it is itself. Free. It's a bargain. Get it while it lasts.
You better, there's not much left.
My blessings to you on this summer day, mid-August. Enjoy everything that may come this week. The heat, the early morning dew, the breezes blowing, in shifting directions. It blows across our day, our bodies, and our soul. As we extinguish the chalice, and I'm so glad the chalice made it this far in the service. May our lives be reflections of the beauty, peace, and joy that is possible in this world. And may the love we find in this place and all around us sustain us as we go our separate ways until we meet again. Amen. Okay, we're off camera.
Let's talk shit.
That probably was a little longer than I expected.
That's a wrap.